Hello and welcome to this overview of Roland Pro AV's V02 HD multi-format video mixer. This is a 2-input video switcher with scaling inputs and loads of features. We'll cover some of the key features. Easy setup, and it fits anywhere. V02 HD is ultra compact. I mean, you saw it just in this last shot here. I mean, just how small this is. It can pretty much fit in your hand. And it can combine a camera and a computer source, 2 cameras, 2 computers, with 1/4-20 threading on the base, so you can mount it to a tripod with an arm attachment, and also has battery compatibility, so you can run it with a battery. Worry-free full HD video inputs. So the V02 HD's multi-format inputs support full HD 1080p video at 59.94 frames per second. And this gives you smooth, detailed video from compatible cameras. So when we say worry-free inputs, if you bring in a different resolution to an input from what the output format is set to, it'll automatically resize the input source to match the output video. On top of that, the scaler will let you resize and reposition that video input as well, which is helpful if you have a computer source and you need to zoom in a little bit. Also, iPad and foot switch control. So the V02 HD has a free control app for iPad iOS devices with full control of all functions and menu settings. You can also use a Boss FS5U or FS6 foot switch to trigger commands. So we'll do a overview of the control panel of the V02 HD. This is program output right here, and this is preview output, which has the menu overlay. And I'll zoom in on that menu so you can see it a little better on my presentation switcher. So changing inputs, you choose the mode. So right now it's in mix or dissolve mode. So I can switch between the 2 sources like this. Use the T-bar. If I want to do a wipe, I can do that. And I'll show you picture-in-picture and the keyer in a bit. You also have output fade. You can capture a live video input as a still image and cut to that using the output fade knob. You have some VFX built right in too. And these effect controls will also work with picture-in-picture and the key effect. And menu, you just do this to open the menu, push in, twist to make a selection, and press menu a few times just to back out of each level of that menu. So the inputs and outputs. So you have those 2 scaling inputs that I mentioned earlier. It's one of the key features, multi-format worry-free inputs. And then you have that program and preview out that you saw up here in these overlays. And then you have the foot switch control. So that's a 1/4-inch port for that. And then a USB 2.0 port that will go to the iPad. So for that, you would need an Apple Wi-Fi camera adapter to convert USB to Lightning. And notice that the power accepts a range of voltages. So if you want to get set up with battery power, just contact us in support and we can send you the resources that you need. And on the side, you have the power switch along with headphones and a stereo 1/8-inch audio input. So we're talking about effects. We'll start with picture-in-picture. So this cues it up, and then I can just turn it on with either the T-bar or I can do the auto transition. And I'm going to show you some of the menu options. Let me just zoom in there so you can see this a little better. So you can so these options here, these controls, you can use the knob here to make adjustments. You can even push and twist this control knob here, change the size. So that's the control 1 and control 2 knobs. But there's some additional options here, like I could change the shape to a circle shape. I can zoom in on the video a little bit. And I can also use this crop function. And notice if I push and twist on this value knob, it moves faster than if I was just twisting it. But here I have, let me see here. So at 60%, I have a circle pip and I can resize it further and position it. So that's the picture-in-picture function. I'm going to turn that off there. Next, I'm going to show you the key function. And for that, I'm going to change out my source here. So now I have a graphic. I'm going to go into key mode here. And when I turn it on, you can see it's to that reference still image there. So I'm going to go into the key menu, and I'm going to change it from still image to input 2. I'm going to change the key type to chroma. I'm going to change the key color from blue to green. And so you can further adjust the level and gain with these control knobs here. You can see I already got a pretty good key to start, and I can just bring that graphic in and out like this from my graphics computer. So those are the main effects on the V02 HD. So you can do a picture-in-picture or key effect with one of the inputs. And now I'm going to show you the iPad app and some of the control options for that. So here's the iPad app. And first I'll show you the audio mixer. So here you have level controls and channel strips for all the audio inputs. So this would be input 1 and 2 would be HDMI audio, and then the audio input is the 1/8 inch stereo input. And you have mute functions, and you can do multi-touch with the faders there. And you have these presets for EQ and compression. You also have a multi-band limiter, mastering EQ, and a limiter as well for the main mix. And so you can see there's additional controls for the VFX, and all these settings are in the on-screen menu. But if you don't want to use that preview output or menu, you could do everything off of this app. All the menu settings are right here. It's all the submenus, and then the rest are just logically laid out. You can load preset memories on this screen as well. But I want to show you a couple things, like with, say, I'm going to turn this picture-in-picture back on, and I know I have the graphic there, but let's use our imaginations. So you can see I can just do dynamic resizing just like that by, doing a tap and move or pinch. So I have flexible control over the effects, and as well as the key. So I'm now in key mode, and I can turn the graphic on and off. Also, if you have someone in front of a green screen, you typically have to adjust the hue and saturation controls, or you can turn on the sampling marker, select an area of the green screen where it's green in the camera image, and then do sampling execute, and it will figure out the hue and saturation values for you doing chroma sampling. So that can be helpful to set up a green screen faster. And you can also do that in the on-screen menu, but I'm just showing you the convenience of setting it up in the remote app environment. You can see too with the VFX that I showed earlier, like the mosaic, you have faster and more flexible control of that as well. And there's additional VFX built right in. So you have wave, color pass, and posterize. So you have some visual effects if you wanted to have a little fun with your content. And finally, I want to show you the foot switch. So here is the Boss FS5U. It also works with the FS6. And I'm just going to go back to my camera shot here. So I go into the CTL EXP menu, and I'm going to set it to, so for the single switch, the FS6, you use both A and B, but for FS5U, it's just B. So I'm going to have it do auto take. And so now when I press the foot switch, it'll do an auto take. I could do a cut. And there's also additional options in here. So you can see there's a lot of different commands that you can do with the FS5U or FS6 foot switch. So to recap, we're just going to go over those key points one more time. So this is an ultra compact solution for combining camera and computer sources. There's quarter 20 threading on the bottom to help with mounting, and it's compatible with battery power. The worry-free scaling full HD video inputs. So 1080p at 59.94 frames per second, smooth detailed video, but obviously too, as you have control over the inputs with the scaling function as well to resize and reposition those input sources. And you saw the effects, of course, and then the iPad and foot switch control. So the V02 HD remote app is free. You just need the Apple Wi-Fi camera adapter and a USB cable. You saw that I had full control of all functions and menu settings. And you can also use a Boss FS5U or FS6 foot switch to trigger commands in that CTL EXP menu. So that concludes this overview on the V02 HD. I want to thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, just contact us at Roland Support. Thank you again, and take care.